now talk about your app. So, iShallBe,
Yes.
I kind of explained it a little bit earlier. It's more about, is it really like daily affirmations or just it's a community of people that can give out, I guess, positivity and affirmations as well. So, could you explain to the listeners a little bit more about iShallBe?
Yes, it's both. So iShallBe is a daily affirmation app that encourages users, or our community, as I like to say, to speak positivity into existence. So the way that it works is on Sunday, you are encouraged to create your affirmation for the week. And so we call it I Shall Be Sundays. So this week, I shall be amazing, or I shall be bold as a lion, or I shall be fearless. And my goal behind that is that on Sundays, we're typically feeling good, right? We're like, you know what? I had a great day. I had a great weekend. I can't wait till next weekend. Or they'll say, you know what? I'm feeling good after church. I'm feeling motivated. But then when Wednesday comes, someone says the wrong thing. You have a confrontation with someone. And all of a sudden, that one instant on Wednesday turns your I shall be fearless or I shall be amazing week to a horrible week. So it's only a horrible week because you're saying it's a horrible week.
I have that
So the
problem.
main idea, right? I mean, I do it all the time. So the main idea about I Shall Be is the goal is to encourage people to be very conscious of the words they say. Because if you say like, you know what, I'm going to fail this test, you're going to fail the test because
Right.
you already told your brain that. And so the way it works is on Monday through Friday, you're receiving these affirmations. So on Monday, it's actually a video that we create, which we were talking about earlier as far as putting that content out. I used to do every week. Now I'm doing every month and calling it a
I understand.
day. And so Monday, your affirmations actually coming from a video where someone's sharing their story about, whatever they may have overcome. Maybe you've been starting a business. Maybe it's been, I had one guy who said, I did, 20 years in jail. I missed my children's life. And so this is what I'm doing now to overcome that. Tuesdays is Tuesday's tunes of a day. So you're receiving affirmation from a song, which I love music. And a lot of times there are hidden affirmations. And like, I've been listening to Drake. I'm like, Drake is like really sending out some motivational vibes. Like, the chorus may be a little off, but the content that he's saying is really good.
Right.
And then Wednesday through Friday is actually quotes that, I put together myself. And then on Saturday is your time to actually reflect on the quote and tell us, what was your favorite day of the week this week? So that's the affirmation piece. But then it's a timeline as well. And this is where people are able to upload their own affirmations for the day, or however they plan to do it. And then they also are able to connect with people as well. So that's what iShallBe is. And it's been doing pretty well.
I think that's wonderful. It's kind of a way to have some accountability on your thought processes. Because, like earlier, like you said, I have that horrible habit of something happening to me. It could be something small, and I'm thinking about it for the rest of the day. I'm like, oh, this just messed up my whole day. And it was something small that I should have just let go, And I realized that I do need to work on what I say to myself, what I say about situations, and how it does affect my week or month, actually. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. I mean, I love the fact that you were even able to, you heard about iShallBe. I think that's the beautiful thing is when people who I don't know are learning about iShallBe, because that's the purpose of it. It's not about me, it's about the content of what we're putting out there. But most importantly, to be able to connect with someone and say, hey, I'm going through it. It wasn't until someone had came on and said, you know what, this is 1 year anniversary of me losing my first baby. And I was like, oh my goodness, and that's, I was like, I have to be very conscious of like who in fact I put on the app, or who, when I first started the app, I was always promoting saying like, this isn't a place for negativity, right? But you just, I can't define what negativity is.
Right.
I can't, because someone may come on there and it may not necessarily be negative. They may really be voicing something that has impacted them and they just need some type of, shoulder to lean on.
Right.
So I'm very honored that you reached out, because it's letting me know that the word is getting out there as far as what this community is doing.
And I overall think the app is great. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't go get actual professional therapy or help if you need it, but something like this can go a long way for someone who just need some type of encouragement. If even if they are correlating it with, actual therapy or before they actually start going to therapy, I think this is a great step for people to follow.
Absolutely. I always say it's your accountability partner. So after you go to therapy, you need that accountability partner. Or after you went to that conference, it's like what you want to continue to have something that's pouring into you. So I met a few people this past weekend and they were like, thank you for putting this on my phone. Cause I'm really quick to like, let me see your phone. Download the app.
As you should.
And they were like, thank you. Like they screenshot the message. I was like, well, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. You didn't delete it after I left from, being where you were. So yeah. And I found that the app I was wondering like, why was it doing, but at one point I saw like an increase in numbers. And I realized during the pandemic, people had a hard time coping with being quarantined. Definitely. Or not being around their family or their friends. So a lot of people downloaded the app to say, hey, this is what's helping me get through. And that truly like warmed my heart to say, you know what? Don't give up.
Yeah, I like being transparent on this show. Like, I actually started going to therapy during like quarantine. It's something that I put off for a long time. And once you're in here, I live by myself. Once you're in here and you start thinking about, your life and things, I'm like, okay, it's about time. I have time. I need to go to therapy. Mm-hmm. And I realized like during COVID, it's been really tolling on people. And apps like this are definitely needed. But also I wanted to ask you, like, what was the process of getting started, like development or your thought processes behind developing this app?
Oh, see, that's a whole therapy is calling my name. So when it comes to the development process, I'll just start from the top. So I started researching like everyone else who wants to have an app. I'm trying to figure out, I put it out in the universe that I want to do an app. So I'm very adamant. If I put it in the universe, it has to happen.
Right.
So I started doing some research and I started getting these crazy numbers as far as like the cost. And I said, I can't afford that. They were like quoting me up to like $60,000.
Oh, no.
Whoa, wait a second. That's a salary. Give me a moment.
Right.
So I end up getting in contact with, I want to say one of my sorority sisters, I'm AKA, shout out to our Madam Vice President. I wanted to say, so I reached out to, pretty much send out a message to my sorority sisters asking like, do you all know an app developer? And they were like, yeah, you should talk to this guy. His name is Troy. He's the alpha at FAM. He's at FAMU. I was like, perfect. And so I decided to work with him. I said, you know what, moving forward, I want to make sure that I work with my family. Not saying permanently, but I wanted to make sure that was my way for us to connect and grow together.
Right.
So we worked together, and during that process, that's when I feel like when we talk about mental health, my patience were truly tested, because this is now you're developing app, you're learning the process of code, you're learning the process of actually getting your app pushed through the different stores. At the point I was like, I have to put our data out there so that I can market and promote it. Well, guess what? I put out that my app was going to come out October 1st, and Apple didn't approve it until December 4th. So just learning business in itself is like, what you can say, don't put it's certain things you don't have to put a time on.
Right.
If you know that you're putting in the work and the effort, it's going to happen. But don't put a time limit on every single thing, because you just never know how it's going to actually turn out. So honestly, since December 4th, I've put out two. So we put iShallBe 1.0 and iShallBe 2.0. And then I've been working on iShallBe 3.0 for the past year or two.
Are these just updates, or those are actual?
These are updates.
Okay, because I'm like, I only seen one.
Yeah, it's one app, but these are updates.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the updates comes with different features, or you saw like a slight change in the look of 2.0 and as far as the actual how it ran. But like now with 3.0, because again the numbers have increased, one thing with apps or with business, people love to see a change. They love to see things update. So the whole total look of the app is changing. It's going to be more user friendly. So this process has been a lot. And then keep in mind too, I'm one person team. So the people that I do hire are actually just contractors that I'm hiring to work on things. So it's a process as a business owner with the app, but overall as a sole entrepreneur, and then also I work a 9 to 5. So it's a process.
I know. Trust me, I know. It's what is sleep at this point.
Yeah. Which I had told myself I got to start slowing down and making sure that I live in a moment. So that's been my thing too. It's saying okay, Shelby, you are where you are now. Don't rush up. But however, I'm rushing this 3.0 process because it's been too long. But just living in a moment, because we're not going to, and I don't want to, someone told me that I sounded like a Mormon, but we're not going to be here forever. We're not going to be here forever. And so one thing about iShallBe is I create a lot of affirmations, and I wonder if someone's going to ever say they're sick of this affirmation, but I put out a lot of affirmations about living in the moment and appreciating the present.
Right.
Like at this moment, I'm like appreciative of you for reaching out, or appreciating the air that I'm in, or appreciating the roof that's over my head, or appreciating the fact that I just said, I'm going to go to Texas for 2.5 weeks. Right. And here I am. It's just like, appreciating the things that I currently have, and whatever is meant for me to have is going to come. And if not, that means something greater is coming. That's been my motto all year. It's like, if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not, something greater is coming.
Right. Well, I appreciate you actually taking the time out to come on a Shot of Facts to talk about iShallBe app, and also just having you just speak facts on this show.
I know we've talked a little bit about everything.
Yeah, no, but everything, I talk about everything on the podcast. So you reached everything that I talk about in this short stint of time. So it was fine. But I wanted to actually go into my last question for you. And so this is actually my segment that I call the last call. And this is where I give you, the guest, the opportunity to tell the listeners one last parting word of encouragement or recommendation that they should take beyond the episode. So what would that be for you?
Oh yeah, so I recently just put out like 3 tips and I'm going to share those same 3 tips, which I've already shared one. But the first tip is one, again, if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not meant to be, something greater is coming. So don't rush it, go along with the pace, and live in the moment. The tip number 2 is, if you speak it, it shall be. So be very mindful of the words you speak over your life, because you never know what's going to happen for you, but we're in control of how it's going to happen.
Right.
So, and then number 3 is, I always say, download iShallBe, because if you want to continue to receive these jewels, you will when you download the iShallBe app.
Right. And where can we find you? Social media, website, where can we find you?
Oh, yes. So you can find me. The website is iShallBe.com. So if anyone ever wants to have these kind of conversations, you can find me there. You can also follow me on Instagram, iShallBe Ruth. That's my personal page. But also make sure you follow iShallBe app. So it's called iShallBe app. And I just made a TikTok. So I'm really, really goofy. So you can follow me on TikTok, because I only have like 4 downloads.
Okay, yeah, I got a TikTok. So many social medias. Whew.
So I'm saying so many users, so many, 4 followers?
But yeah, I know. It's so many different apps. I'm trying to tackle TikTok myself, but I'm also trying to tackle Instagram and Twitter.
So. I said I was done with Instagram, but TikTok was fun. So I was like, oh yeah,
it is. Well, again, thank you, Shelby. I'll make sure to add everything that you said as far as to reach you, and also the website on the show notes, so that everyone can listen, will follow you, and also download the app as well. But overall, I want to thank you for coming on A Shot of Facts.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good one.